Hi, I'm Kyle Pennypacker and welcome back to Penny Prepper. Today's video, we're going to be discussing air quality and filtering in an emergency. But before we get started today, I'm going to ask that you like the video, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and share with any like-minded folks. This is actually going to be the first in a small series of videos. It's going to be a 4-part series involving air purification, reinforcing shelter, water, and food storage. Common types of air purification and filtering that you may have heard, and also even storage, could be things like filters such as surgical masks and N95 masks. Obviously, we've heard a lot about that during the COVID era. Even something basic as a bandana, that's what I used a lot of times during the COVID pandemic, was using a bandana. Simple stuff, basic stuff. Those are filters, and believe it or not, stepping it up a notch and improving a little bit, gas masks are actually just air filters. They're just a lot more in-depth, and they're actually filtering a lot smaller particles than something like a bandana or a surgical mask would be. Now, when it comes to gas masks, that is what your typical prepper or emergency preparedness person is going to be thinking of as far as air quality, air purification, and keeping yourself safe from contaminants. And rightfully so. It's in the right price range. They're available and legal to purchase. They don't need any special equipment other than the filters. So if that's what you're going to do, I highly recommend you doing the research and finding the right type of gas mask. There are plenty out there, but you really need to get one that's rated NBCR, nuclear, biological, chemical, and radioactive. That kind of mask will pretty much protect you from, I don't want to say anything, but a majority of the air quality issues that you will be facing in an emergency. All right, next is the real heavy hitters, the ones that you can actually pretty much go out in anything. Again, can't really say that because they still have their limitations as far as depending on the type of chemical or whatever's going on, you as a person and even the materials may break down. But respirators and self-contained breathing apparatus. Great example of self-contained breathing apparatus is going to be what firefighters use. That's the not oxygen, it's just an air cylinder on their back, and they're actually breathing compressed air. Obviously not directly in their lungs, it would blow their lungs out, but there's a regulator that makes it breathable for them, and depending on their exertion, they can go a decent amount of time. Now, granted, they have to swap out that cylinder, and once they run out, as soon as they run out of that air in the cylinder, their mask will literally suck to their face because there's no air to breathe in. So that's something you need to keep in mind. And the nice thing about self-contained breathing apparatus, SCBA, is that the air that you're breathing in is completely contained. There's no chemicals getting into it. There's no outside forces getting into it and contaminating it. You're breathing it right from the tank. It's going through the hose, into your mask, and into your lungs. Whereas the filters are filtering out a majority of the particles. So that is a huge benefit, but also, again, there's a lot more to it than just breathing it in. So it's a lot more complicated. The next really big thing that you got to think about is where you are. If you are in a commercial structure and the windows are blown out, you're going to have a lot of air coming in that may be contaminated. You could be in your vehicle. You may be at home, which is a smaller space. You can filter the air possibly. And even if you are in a room in your home, that you have a filtration system or an air purifier that can circulate that air depending on what it is in the air. Also getting stuff like plastic sheeting, duct tape, painter's tape, even using trash bags, anything to stop bad contaminated air from coming in, making it as airtight as you possibly can. Think, for example, during a fire. A lot of times they'll teach you to put wet towels at the base of your door to make sure that the smoke does not penetrate through the cracks at the bottom of your door. Now, something that you don't really think about with a lot of this stuff is with prepping, yes, there's so many products out there. It is incredible. There is pretty much anything for anything. However, you can build some of the stuff that you find out there. I know I was looking into the air filtration systems for the bunkers that I've seen, thinking how great would that be to have in my whole home. However, I've actually looked into ways of building one myself. I don't have the means at the moment, but instead of paying $30,000 or $10,000 for a put together filter, I could probably make one for about $1,000, if that. So one of the things I'm going to preach on is going to be gas masks, because even if you are in your home and there is no electricity to run any air purifiers or filters, if you have a gas mask, you at least are taking care of a direct environment, which is your lungs, your mouth, your air. If you get 3 of those for a family of 3, that will be a lot cheaper than replacing all your windows, making sure your whole home is airtight and sealed up, and getting a state-of-the-art HVAC system that can filter out any sort of chemicals. Granted, if you're in a nuclear bunker, hey, yeah, go for it. But dealing with your own personal breathing air, that's going to be the most realistic and best resource, because all you have to do is replace the filters whenever they start to get gunked up, and you're ready to go. Last and most importantly, with air quality and air emergencies, is going to be the decontamination, depending on what's going on. For example, if there's ash or soot coming down and it's contaminated with chemicals, no matter what, you should be trying to decontaminate yourself, whether that's taking the top layer of clothes off and then trying to shed layers, and then getting a shower and then showering again, scrubbing, stuff like that. It's something that you definitely need to keep in mind, even with your gas mask. Make sure that you have the right supplies to maintain the gas mask, and also clean it. Because if you take it off and get stuff in it, and then you put it right back on 5 minutes later, you're breathing in contaminants. My call to action for this video is going to be to invest and prepare for air emergencies. The train derailment in Ohio, as well as if you live on the West Coast with wildfires, there's always a reason to have air quality in mind. You can only last 3 minutes without good quality air, so it's something that you definitely need to at least prepare for. Get one good set of great equipment and just be ready for whatever. If you never use it, you can always use it for a Halloween party or something like that, but it's worth investing in 100%, because if something does happen, you may be one of the last people that is going to be standing if you have that prep. All right, that's all we have for today's video. If there's anything you would like to see in any upcoming videos, please comment and let me know. Stay safe and stay prepared.